Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking at some sources that really get into deep theological ideas, spiritual life, freedom, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and it's pretty intense material.
What struck me right away is how it opens. It speaks directly to you, the listener, saying you are favored beyond measure. That's quite a way to start.
It is. Sets a high bar. So our mission today really is to unpack the core analogy here.
Yeah.
This comparison the source makes between bearing Christ spiritually
Right.
and what it calls liberty in Christ. We kind of need to figure out what kind of freedom that actually means, given what it asks of you.
Okay, yeah, let's dig into that. The main idea seems to be this call for the individual to bear Christ inside them in their heart, their life, just like Mary bore him physically. But what's the condition? How does that happen?
Well, the source is crystal clear. It requires complete surrender, total obedience, total faith.
Okay.
It points straight to Mary's response, behold, the handmaid of the Lord, be it unto me according to thy word. That's presented as the absolute model.
So it's not just passively agreeing, it's an active giving over.
Exactly. An active submission of your own will to the divine will.
That sounds incredibly demanding.
Yeah.
Especially today, with all the focus on self-determination. How does the source square that circle? Surrender equals freedom.
That's the core tension, isn't it? The source leans right into it. It argues that once you make that surrender, your life becomes this vessel.
A vessel, okay.
And the outcome is that everything, every action, every thought, even your intentions can be, as the source puts it, sanctified by the Spirit.
Meaning, made holy, purified.
Basically, yeah. Your everyday life gets infused with a higher purpose, directed differently.
Okay, so if that's the framework,
Yeah.
this vessel idea, what does this liberty in Christ actually feel like, practically speaking?
Right. Good question. And the source is careful to define it. It emphasizes what it's not.
Okay.
It's not, say, freedom from difficult circumstances. You might still have problems, challenges.
Right, life happens.
Exactly. This liberty is internal, deeply spiritual. It transforms you from the inside out.
And it specifically lists things you're freed from, doesn't it? These internal chains.
It does. Things like despair, anger, frustration, bitterness, that constant inner turmoil.
That's quite a list. It even mentions protection from temptations, like, what was it, debauchery, licentiousness, and all forms of sin. Pretty strong claims.
Very strong. And this focus on internal freedom leads us straight into the central paradox.
Because
That yielding completely, following divine guidance, ordering your steps according to God's will, that is presented as the greatest freedom imaginable.
wow. So freedom isn't doing whatever you want.
Not in this view, no.
It's being freed to do something else.
Precisely. Freed to live righteously, to love genuinely, to fulfill what the source sees as your God-given purpose. It's like your inner self stops fighting its own nature, or rather, its fallen nature.
That really flips the script on modern ideas of freedom.
It does. And if you zoom out, this liberty is framed in two ways. It's a gift, definitely. A rescue from sin, and from what the source calls the tyranny of your fallen nature, basically, the ego running wild.
A gift. And the other side.
It's also a serious responsibility. You're called to carry Christ's presence, to reflect his light or glory into a world that the source describes as groaning under darkness.
So there's an outward-facing element, too.
Yeah.
And the proof isn't necessarily big, flashy signs.
Not primarily, no. The source suggests the evidence is much more practical. It's in the day-to-day.
Like what?
Every act of obedience, however small, every genuine prayer, every kind word spoken in love, these become the testimony to this inner freedom.
Little proofs.
And the source concludes by saying the Spirit empowers you to actually do this, to resist temptation, to actively pursue holiness.
And the payoff is, well, pretty immense, according to them.
It is. The source talks about life eternal, peace unshakable, and joy inexhaustible. Those are the promised results of walking in this specific kind of liberty.
That is quite a promise, built entirely on this idea that true freedom comes through submission, which is definitely countercultural.
It's deeply countercultural.
So here's something for you to think about. How does this definition of freedom, this idea that inner liberty is found through essentially surrender, how does that challenge or maybe confirm your own view of what it means to be truly free?